last kind of pattern we're going to talk about today is called a growing pattern. And a growing pattern is a pattern that grows. It doesn't repeat at all. Some patterns don't repeat. These patterns actually grow and gain more. We have to figure out the pattern to how they are growing each time. So you can see right here I have a couple of simple growing patterns. My first term in my growing pattern is just a single square. If I move to my second term of my growing pattern, I see a square on top, just like before, 2 on the bottom. My third term in this pattern, I see a square. There's the 2 squares, then the 3 squares. So I can easily see that what's happening in this pattern is it's growing by 1 row every time. So it's going 1 row below, and then that row has 1 more square than the row did before. So I have 1 square here. There's the row. It gained another row, and now there were 2 squares. 1, 2, now 3 squares. So my next one, if I was going to do another one, I would have the first row with 1, second row with 2, third row with 3 little purple squares, and then my fourth row would go with 4 purple squares. Put those on there. The pattern is growing. This shape is growing every time. It's not repeating, it's growing. If I did another one, I would do another term that I would have 5 squares and then 6 squares. So it was growing a row every time, and that row would have had 1 more square than the row above it. Growing pattern. Here's our next one. See, our first term is just a black triangle. Then I see a black triangle and a yellow triangle kind of fit together. Black, yellow, black, black, yellow, black, yellow. So if I'm going to keep going, it's going to grow. Now there is some elements of repeating here, but the pattern is actually growing. So if I'm going to do my next term, I see I'd go black, and I need a yellow, black, yellow, just like before. And if I'm going to grow at 1, it looks like it is growing by 1 triangle every time. I had 1 triangle, then 2 triangles, then 3 triangles, then 4 triangles. So I'd add another black. So there was also an element of color in this one. I couldn't just do black triangles all the way or yellow triangles all the way. It was not only growing by 1 triangle every time, it also was going back and forth with a little bit of a repeating pattern with an A-B pattern of black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow. So this is the last kind of patterns we're going to look at, are growing patterns.